Okay, friends, now we will start with the chapter 1. That is partition and challenges for independent India. The subtopics are India's twisted destiny, partition and aftermath, challenges facing independent India, and the rehabilitation of refugees. So, chapter 1. Okay, chapter 1, partition and challenges for independent India. India's twisted destiny. On the eve of India's independence, during the midnight session of Constituent Assembly of 14th August 1947, Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, delivered his famous speech, "The Tryst with Destiny." Okay, explanatory. In this, he spoke about the victory of India's non-violent struggle uh, against the British Empire, as well as his dream of independent India. Okay, it is considered to be one of the landmark speeches of the 20th century. So, first of all, what did he do? What did he do at the time? On 14th August 1947. Okay, he made a speech, "Tryst with Destiny," and he spoke about the non-violent struggle and his dream of independent India. It is considered to be the landmark speeches of 20th century. Okay, moving ahead. Here are a few quotes from his famous "Tryst with Destiny" speech. "Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not wholly or in full measures, but very substantially." Okay, again, long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge. Okay, next, I think he's talking about this Karachi session where they resolved to celebrate Independence Day, and since Independence Day has come, so he is telling in that context. Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not wholly or in full measure, but very substantially. Okay, at the stroke of midnight hour, when the world sleeps, at the stroke of midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. Obviously, a rare moment comes when we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends, and when the soul of a nation, long suppressed, find utterance. Okay, so at the stroke of midnight hour, when the world sleeps, because India is going to be independent on 15th August, and he is, uh, speaking during the midnight session, no, on 14th August 1947. So what he was saying, at the stroke of midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to the life and freedom. Yes, because India is going to be independent after a long struggle, after a long slavery. A rare moment comes when we step out from the old to the new, when old age ends, and when the soul of a nation, long suppressed and fine utterances. Okay, freedom and power bring responsibility. The responsibility rests upon this assembly, a sovereign body representing the sovereign people of India. Okay, the responsibility rests upon this assembly, a sovereign body representing the sovereign people of India. The service of India means the service of millions who suffer. It means ending of poverty and ignorance and disease and inequality of opportunity. Okay, the service of India means service of millions who suffer. It means ending of poverty and ignorance and disease and inequality of opportunity. The ambition of the greatest men of our generation has been to wipe every tear from every eye. He must be, speaking about Mahatma Gandhi. You know that the ambition of the greatest man of our generation has been to wipe every tear from every eye. Peace has been said to be indivisible, so is freedom. Peace has to be said to be indivisible, and so is freedom, so is prosperity now, and so also is disaster in this world, in this one world. So, as it's a disaster in this one world, that no longer be split into isolated fragments. He must be, telling about this. What I am getting understanding. You may also advise me that peace is said to be indivisible. Means there cannot be, peace here and war there. So if there is peace, there should be universal peace, and so is freedom. There should be universal freedom, and so is prosperity. There should be prosperity for all, and so also is disaster in this one world. See, because he is talking about one world, Vasudhaivam Kutumbakam. So also is disaster in this one world that can no longer be split into isolated fragments. Okay, India stands forth again. India stands forth again after long slumber or sleep and struggle. Uh, Awake, vital, free, and independent. India stands forth again as a awake being, a vital or with vitality or free and independent. The past clings onto us still in some measure. Past is still clinging on to us in some measure, and we have to do much before we redeem the pledges we have so often taken. We have to do much more to redeem the pledges we have so often taken. So he's also asking us to look back to the pledges which we have taken, that if we will get the independence we will do that, and what we wanted to achieve, you know what were the essence of our independence, independence struggle. So he wanted to redeem, he wanted to remember that thing. He wanted the people at that time to remember that thing, so that they can redeem that thing, redeem that pledges and work upon that thing. Okay, next, the future beckons to us. What shall be our endeavor? Kya future beckons to us means future is asking us what shall be our endeavor. I mean, हमारे क्या endeavors रहेंगे, तो to bring freedom and opportunity to the common men, to the peasants and workers of India, to fight and end poverty, ignorance and disease, to build up a prosperous, democratic and progressive nation, to create social, economic and political institutions which ensure justice and fullness of life to every man and woman. The future becomes us. What shall be our endeavor? To bring freedom, opportunity to common men, to the peasants, workers of India, fight and end poverty, ignorance, disease, to build up prosperous, democratic and progressive nation, and to create social, economical, political institutions. He wanted our endeavor to be to build uh, such institutions or social, economic, political institutions which will end poverty, ignorance, disease, uh, you know, which will end the sufferings of the general common men. All of us, to whatever religion we may belong, are equally the children of India with equal rights, privileges, and obligations. We cannot encourage communalism, narrow mindedness. So, this is very important. We cannot encourage communalism and narrow mindedness, for no nation can we create whose people are narrow in thought or in action. And to India, our much loved motherland, the ancient, eternal, the ever new, we pay our reverent homage and we bind ourselves afresh to her service. Jai Hind. Okay, so we'll again see a quick revision. India's tryst with destiny. On the eve of India's independence, what he was speaking during the midnight session of the Constituent Assembly of 14th August, and the heading or subject of his speech was the tryst with destiny. So he was Jawaharlal Nehru. Spoke about spoke about the victory of India's non-violent struggle. Though is it not so in absolute terms, India's non-violent struggle, as well as his dream of independent India. It is considered to be landmark speeches of 20th century. Here are the few quotes. Okay, what are the few quotes? Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny. So here comes the time when we shall redeem our pledge, not wholly or in full measure, but very substantially. I mean, he is not telling us to redeem that pledge in a procedural manner, but in a substantial manner. At the stroke of midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. A rare moment comes when we step out from from the old to new. When an age ends, what kind of age? Age of slavery, long slavery ends, and when the soul of a nation, when the soul of a nation, being of a nation, you know that which was long suppressed, finds utterance. Okay, freedom and power bring responsibility. He is also very concerned about the um, a responsibility which will be coming on the shoulders of a new nation as it gets freedom and power. And that responsibility rests upon this assembly, because assembly was more or less very representative, not very I mean representative of the people, a sovereign body representing the sovereign people of India. The service of India means the service of millions who suffer. What is the service of India? Service of India means service of the millions who suffer. It means ending of poverty, ignorance and disease, inequality of opportunity. The ambition of greatest man of our generation has been to wipe every tear from every eye. Peace has been said to be individual, so is freedom. What he is saying? Everything which is virtue. What can be called as a universal virtue, like peace, freedom, prosperity. You know, cannot be divisible. It is indivisible. It should be for all. And so also is disaster in this world, and can no longer be split into isolated fragments. India stands forth again after long slumber and struggle, uh, awake, vital, free and independent. The past clings on to us still in some measure, and we have to do much more. We redeem the pledges we have so often taken. The future beckons to us. What shall be our endeavor? What shall be our endeavor? To bring freedom and opportunity to the common man, to the peasants and workers of India, to fight and end poverty and ignorance and disease, to bring up a prosperous, democratic, and progressive nation, um, and to create social, economical, and political institutions, and will ensure the justice and fullness of life to every man and woman. Yes, which will ensure the justice and fullness of life to every man and woman. Next, all of us, to whatever religion we may belong, we are equally the children of India. We are equally the children of India with equal rights, privileges, and obligations. We cannot encourage communalism and or narrow-mindedness, because we had the scar of this direct action day, or the violence which were being perpetrated from both the sides of the border. Mm, on both the sides which are going to get divided, because we cannot encourage communalism and narrow-mindedness, for no nation can be great whose people are narrow in their thought or in action. And to India, our much loved motherland, the ancient, our much loved motherland, the ancient, the eternal, and the ever new, we pay our reverent homage, and we bind ourselves afresh to our surface. We bind ourselves, because why he is saying that we bind ourselves afresh? Because he wanted us to in a kind in a sense that we should be he wanted us to get rejuvenated, because we are entering into a new era. We are living a age of slavery, so he wanted us to be rejuvenated in the sense of for the service of the nation. Okay, I'll continue. Thank you.